Welcome to WPCAMR Video Diaries. I'm Andy McAllister. The Appalachian Regional Reforestation Initiative, also known as ARI, is a coalition of citizen groups, the coal industry, and government dedicated to restoring forests on coal mine lands in the eastern U.S. Highly productive forest land can be created on reclaimed mine lands, forests valued for their timber, as well as habitat for wildlife. This week we're heading up to the Jennings Environmental Education Center in the Slippery Rock Creek watershed near Butler, PA, to attend the dedication ceremony and tree planting of an ARI demonstration site.
And what I'd like to do is to introduce our regional director, Tom Shope, to say a few words about this program, and then we'll move on down the line from there. So, Tom.
Great, thanks, Dave. I'll keep them very short because I know everybody's dying to get into the dirt, right? But again, I just want to, on behalf of the Office of Surface Mining, Director Walquist and Secretary Kempthorne, who are all very personally involved in this very initiative. Been out on mine sites with the director and met personally with the secretary about this initiative, and are very excited about it. This small plot, as Dave mentioned, this is going on all over Appalachia. I've been traveling up and down through Appalachia. This is one of our last events, but this is just a small plot. This is going on in literally thousands of acres right now in Appalachia, and we're going to have a benefit in just a few short years when these kids come back. When they are a little bit older, we're going to be able to realize the benefit of what took place here. We're so pleased to be a part of an educational center. So it's a small plot, yet here we can get the idea that energy is so important for our country. We need energy, but there's also a cost that we have to control, have to deal with. And this is one of those ways that we're able to have the classic win-win situation.
Without the cooperation of Dave Johnson, the park superintendent, this would not happen, and so I greatly appreciate it. He got it done here today, and so I want Dave to comment a little bit about just what this area is.
I'd like to welcome you all on behalf of the Bureau of State Parks to our Jennings Environmental Education Center's Mine Education and Research Site. So one of the great things I think that we've done ecologically here at Jennings is the partnership. It formed up originally as the Jennings Water Improvement Coalition. And that quickly, as we went out of our boundaries, turned into the Slippery Rock Watershed Coalition, which is a partnership of not any one individual that knows all that, but lots of individuals that contribute into that sort of thing. And Jennings has made great headway in that. Right behind you, actually on top of that, if you get a chance to look around later, is a big pond. It's a vertical flow system. It's the longest successful running vertical flow passive treatment system in the world, right here at Jennings. So we are a small site, as I alluded to. We are a regional recreation, education, and research site. And our research is minor. You can see that's not hundreds of acres of ARRI. That's what, 50 by 50. It's enough to show a model. It's enough to get us involved in the passive system. It's enough to educate with. This is an old coal mine from the 30s. Coal originally came out with 2 ponies and a cart. People made their living here, and it wasn't much of a living. If you look at some of the pictures we have of the schoolhouse and those mine kids, they weren't getting rich mining coal back in 1908. A lot of cultural significance to this site. Where we stand now is the tipple, and if you walked over and saw the interpretive displays, you saw a picture of that tipple that stood here. The schoolhouse, which we're going to be fixing up this spring, was part of this mine complex. When the mine would catch fire and the smoke would blow out, they'd close school for weeks. So there's a lot of cultural history, a lot of neatness, and a lot of people that live in this area have coal in their blood, as we say. Almost everybody here is related to someone in the coal industry, someone that had that coal culture doing issues. So we're proud to add all these little models. And Margaret and some of the other Slippery Rock Watershed Coalition people can explain all these different models to you. Latest addition is ARRI. More likely on an active mine site than an abandoned mine site, but if this technique works, certainly we could go back to abandoned mines and recreate them and do this. Hopefully jump-starting the grassy strip mine look that we've all seen in western Pennsylvania. Maybe jump-start it now to a forested stand looks. Well worth the experiment here, and we're very happy to have this opportunity to educate for this as well.
So we have a lot of opportunity in Pennsylvania on surface mine sites as well as abandoned mine sites to incorporate the principles of the forest reclamation approach to give those trees a better chance. And I'd like to bring up right now Representative Stevenson from the Pennsylvania 8th Legislative District.
We're dealing with these issues on a massive scale all across Pennsylvania. As many of you know, I serve on the Environmental Resources and Energy Committee in Harrisburg, and Pennsylvania has a legacy of abandoned mines. And one of the exciting things I think about our future in Pennsylvania is that we now have the technology to burn much of the material that's in those old spoil piles and some of the abandoned coal and the slag and the things that were thrown off years ago. So many of those sites are being remined for the energy that they contain. As part of that process, as they're remined, we get energy, which we all need, and we clean up a site. So there are two benefits there. As part of that, the Office of Surface Mining, the federal government there are new dollars coming into Pennsylvania. I don't know, most of you probably know about that. And it's exciting to me to think that we have that resource coming to our state to help us with this problem. Now I understand this isn't the technology or the approach that will be used on every site, but it is one that will be interesting to follow. I also want to say a word of thanks to Quality Aggregates for their donated time and material and what they've done to help us in this area. Those kinds of efforts where volunteers, like many here today, step in and are working to improve our communities are the kinds of things that certainly are exciting to us all and energize many people beyond those here.
There are thousands and thousands of people that come through this center and kids that come through this center every year for various educational components. And that was one of the reasons we were so excited about having this site here, because just like this group of kids is going to participate, when these kids and people come through this area, they'll learn about passive treatment and they'll learn about reforestation. And I think that the educational benefits can go a long way over the coming generations in helping us establish this reforestation approach in Pennsylvania. Now I'd like to bring up Sarah Fitzsimmons with the American Chestnut Foundation, because the Office of Surface Mining is in partnership with the American Chestnut Foundation on this regional reforestation initiative. And in fact today we're going to be planting some American chestnut seedlings. It's our hope that we can use these mine sites to help reestablish the American chestnut in the eastern deciduous forest.
Our organization has been breeding American chestnut trees for 25 years now. This is our 25th anniversary. We have a 6th generation breeding program that's working to breed blight resistance from the Chinese chestnut into the greater ecological value of the American chestnut species. We just this year in Pennsylvania created the first seed from our 6th generation, the generation that we hope to be able to put back in the woods. So we're at a really exciting time within our organization. We expect within the next 10 to 15 years, after testing that 6th generation, that we'll be able to start the restoration process. And that's where something like this becomes really important. And abandoned mine lands, with the hundreds of thousands of acres that there are throughout the eastern U.S., will play a huge role in that. And so bringing the FRA approach to Pennsylvania, examining different ways of trying to restore high-value hardwoods like the American chestnut species will be just vital to our goal in restoring the species.
Absolutely. We're just now starting to form some really good relationships with Stream Restoration Inc., the Watershed Coalition, and all these other partners involved in hopes to tackle some of the sites over in Lawrence County and replicate these efforts.
With your foot, cover it back up and tamp it down a little bit. But make sure every root is underground. You can't have any roots exposed. How about this? Each team go pick out a stake.
Trees. 50 trees. We need dirt? Yeah, we need dirt.
Let's see that tree. Cool, nice tree, man. Do you foresee more sites being done this way?
Absolutely, big target. We're having a lot of success. We want to bring that further into Pennsylvania because we want to expand it. We're getting a lot of ground, a lot of traction in West Virginia and in Kentucky, and even in Virginia. Now we really want to put some focus on Pennsylvania.